Welcome to the Dr. Amy Adesanya podcast. I have various US and international accounting and tax designations, a master's in tax, and a PhD in business administration with a concentration in finance and accounting. Over the past 2 decades, I've helped several SMEs succeed. This podcast will provide strategies and resources to startups and existing businesses thrive. Let's get started. Over the past 2 decades, I've helped several SMEs succeed. This podcast will provide strategies and resources to startups and existing businesses thrive. Let's get started. Good evening, everybody. I'm just trying to find out why it's echoing. Give me a minute. Okay, I think we're good now. So good evening, everybody, or afternoon, wherever you are, afternoon, evening, or good day. I'm back. I know I took a 2 weeks hiatus. I just said I'm going to be away for 2 weeks. And so now I'm back. I'm very happy to be back. It's really cold over where I am. I'm actually in Texas right now, and it's really cold. I guess it's cold all over in many states in the US, but I'm happy to be back online and, happy that we're again in another year, 2023. And this is the last day of the first month. Amazing. I mean, can you believe that? So we're just going to get right into it. Again, shout out to everyone that has supported, has called, has watched. Some of you have not subscribed, but that's fine. I know you will. So I really want to appreciate everyone that's watched, has subscribed, has actually called me to make some comments. And, I actually have used the advice or on this platform, to thrive, make sure that businesses thrive. So I'm very excited to be back. I'm very excited that we're in 2023. I'm very excited that we're moving forward and, making corrections that where we need to make corrections to make sure our businesses do well. Okay. And of course, not only the businesses, the owners too, right? The owners too have to do well. All right. So today, I know I've mentioned this before, but because we're really right. We're in some places, this is really the tax season. And I just wanted to, again, visit the tax evasion and tax avoidance. I know I've mentioned it before, but I want to give this one, I just want to dig in a little bit and give some examples, because somebody will say, oh, I don't evade tax, and they don't really get it. Maybe what they're doing is actually tax evasion. So really, what is tax evasion? What is tax avoidance? Now, tax evasion is a criminal act of using illegal means, right, to evade taxes, which means not paying taxes using various illegal means. I'm going to give you some examples. So because sometimes you might be doing this and you don't know you might do this and you might have been doing this and you said, oh my goodness, I didn't know it was illegal. So I'm just going to give you some examples. Now, tax avoidance is where we all should be, right? Is a legal method, you reduce your taxes using various legal methods, right, to pay less taxes, right? So this is what I'm just going to give some examples. And so you should be on the side of tax avoidance. And I tell people, don't get mad when people pay less taxes. When a company pays less, I know people say, oh, but it's not morally correct. How can a company that has millions of dollars not pay less taxes or not pay taxes, or they're paying, compared to how much I make and how much I pay in taxes, why they should also pay? If you take advantage of the tax law, you take your credits, you take your, deductions and things like that, and you pay less taxes. Why is that wrong? I don't know that. I would say that's where I want to be, right? As long as it's legal, all right? But now, if you're looking at the criminal aspect of it, right? Now, let me give you some examples. If you're someone that falsifies records, now you have your accountant, your CPA, your tax person, filing your tax return, and you give them false records, false documentation. That's, of course, is just because you want to show less income or you want to show more deductions, that's actually tax evasion, right? What does that mean? Let's say now you travel, and you know you're traveling for a vacation, and you're not because people combine their vacation with work. That's fine. If you have to travel for a conference, and you want to add your vacation to that, you have to just know that the days you spend on vacation is not deductible. But the days you spend for the conference is a taxable event, right? Yes, I did not remember to mute my phone. Sorry about that. And so I just want you to really understand that, okay? Tax evasion, right? In that case, it's tax evasion, giving false documentation. And then I tell some people feel that because if you're in the financial field, tax field, and you're actually working with someone on their returns, and you know that what they're providing is false, and you go ahead and say, okay, you know what, I'm not a tax auditor. I'm not going to really ask them questions. That's a problem for you, because if you look at so many people that are convicted now, they end up convicting the accountants or the tax person, or they convict them. So make sure that you do your due diligence if you're on the preparer's side, or helping prepare. Ask questions. So the first thing I say, falsifying your records. Now, I want to step a little bit back when I talk about falsifying records. Now, sometimes it's even the person that is providing this information is not just the person, the taxpayer providing this information. You're a business, you're providing this information to your accountant, and your accountant keeps on giving you maximum deductions. No, maximum deduction. Well, will I say less tax? You pay less tax, and you're wondering. Now, if there's any problem that there's falsifying of records because you're going to get a big deduction and it's on the accountant side, you will get into issues. You have an issue because, you are required to know what's on your return. So falsifying. Another one is underreporting. You don't want to let people know about your income, right? We're talking about tax evasion. You say, okay, you know what? You're making maybe 20,000, 30,000, because somebody's paying cash to you. You said there's no need to report this as business income, right? That is underreporting, right? And if you're caught, that's tax evasion, all right? So remember, tax evasion is when you underreport. Some people actually say, don't pay me by check, don't pay me by, don't let it go to my bank, just pay me cash, right? Now, excuse me, paying cash is not the problem. The problem is reporting that cash. Some people purposely say, I want to take cash. I want to take cash so that I will not report that cash. That is tax evasion. Remember, you're supposed to report all your income. Of course, there are some income that is exempt from taxes, but that is another discussion. But report all your income, excuse me, the amount that is exempt from tax, that will be taken care of because it will be allocated to tax-free income. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know. Then the next one is offshore. Now, a lot of people have offshore income, offshore interest, offshore income, and it could be interest income, and they're not reporting that, not declaring that income. Now, I've seen governments that actually have a joint agreement with the Internal Revenue Service, right? And they come after people that don't report their income. There are people that have businesses, international businesses, but they leave the income where they don't report that income. They have this income and they allocate it to a particular bank account. They refuse to report that income, right? That is an issue, and that is tax evasion, all right? Right? Another one is hiding the income. What do I mean by hiding income? I know, we talked about underreporting. Let me give an example of hiding income. Baddering, some people use baddering. What's baddering? Let's say, I provide accounting service. I can tell my doctor, you know what, I'll provide accounting services for you when you provide medical services for me, right? We're doing a barter, right? Trading, right? Now, People do that and they think they can get away with it. I want to make sure you're clear, right? I want to make clear right now. If you are providing services to somebody and getting another service in return, so you won't report income, it is illegal. Any income you barter, like trade, like I just gave an example, I have to report that income I receive, that medical expense, medical payments, because remember it's a barrier, medical payment as income to my company. So I want to make sure we understand that you cannot do trading. Now, there's an exception to that. There is Section 1031 where you can do like-kind exchanges. There's an exception to that. So it's not like matters you can't do it at all, but you can look at the exception, right? What applies, but make sure that exception applies. Okay, now those are some examples. There are many, but those are some examples where you talk about tax evasion and with examples. So be very careful what you do when it comes to trying to hide income, trying to not report income, not declaring. That's an issue. Now let's go to the nice part, the great part, which is tax avoidance. Loving tax avoidance. And how do you avoid taxes? You avoid taxes by taking advantage of credits, tax credits, right? There are so many credits. There's child tax credit. You might say, "Oh, I don't have a child." Well, there are education credits that are available if you have education. If you have you go to college, or there are education credits, right? And now there's a new act that talks about residential credits, like energy credits, right? Now, even if you ride a vehicle that is electric vehicle, you have credit. All those are credits. Your company might have electric vehicles, right? You might want to choose to buy an electric vehicle instead of a gas vehicle, right? Because of the credits. And then another big one is the retirements. Retirement, there are so many retirement plans you can put in place for your company that actually help you to avoid tax. I know it's a deferral, but it helps you to avoid taxes. So, I would say it's very, and also to know all this, it's good to also work with someone that knows that these credits are available to you. Make sure you are taking advantage of all these credits, all this, that's why I said, if you have someone actually taking advantage of all these credits, helping you to get all the credits available, and tax law continues to change, taking advantage of all these credits, kudos to you. So please make sure, as well, we're now in the tax season. I know a couple of countries actually. This is apart from the US. Their tax season is even in various countries they are having tax season too. Make sure that, again, make sure it's not tax evasion. Make sure it's tax avoidance. Be very proactive. Don't just sign anything or, "Oh, this is it. Oh, you have a big I'm not paying I'm not paying a lot of taxes in 2020. This is 2023, so it'll be 2022 tax year." Make sure you know why, right? Okay, make sure. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of the credits and all those deductions, but please make sure you know why. We don't want you to end up in jail or paying a ridiculous fine. We see things all the time. On in the news, how people are going to jail because of in the news, we see it on on the radio, we hear it on the radio, we read it, and you don't want to be in that or on that side, or or wearing those shoes, tax evasion shoes. No. All right. Okay, so hopefully you step back and make sure if you are doing these things, you step back and say, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I know some people that have offshore transactions. So how do they know? They won't find out. I just want to let you know that there's joint. Again, I said it. Most countries have joint agreements with the US, and you don't want somebody to come knocking at your door. You don't want that to happen to you because you have some money somewhere and you have not reported that. Okay, so today we have a guest today, and let me see, hopefully, let's see. Awesome. All right, she's trying to connect. So she's been so awesome. Let me see. Awesome. Yes. So yeah, this is Miss Mel. She's a real estate agent, and that's her business. She's a real estate agent, and she decided to, give us that privilege, right, of coming to share. Usually when people come to this platform, they share any issues they have in their businesses. We can discuss that, and hopefully somebody listening today would actually take advantage of any advice that we can come up with any of her issues that she's having. So thank you so much, Ms. Mel, for coming today. Really appreciate you coming to spend time with us, and really appreciate you. All right. So I know you're in the real estate business. So is there any issues you're struggling with at this time, or anything you want to share with us that we could discuss and see if I can offer some kind of advice or something like that, general information that I would do my best to provide. Okay, go ahead if you have any issues, or you can share. Of course, everybody has problems, but you can share some, or let's start with one. Let's see if we have enough time for another, but go ahead.
No problem. One thing that as realtors we have an issue with right now in the market is the opposition of rising interest rates and clients wanting to halt buying because the interest rates are rising.
Okay. Okay, for the interest rates, I really think for now, I think if clients in that particular place, if you're looking at clients buying because of interest rates, that would generally be, interest rates. I would say that you just continue to monitor the interest rates, because if a client cannot really buy because of the interest rates, I know some people will say that the interest rate jumped from, I think, 2% to almost 7% now. And I think most people have stepped back and they're waiting. So for you, that might be an issue, or you would like to get your houses sold, or people to buy houses. But some people, yes, they believe that this is an issue for them. But I would say if that is preventing you from having a client, I would say you should educate them when it comes to having a house and renting. I would say that yes, the interest rate might be a little high. But there are two things I would say that two things you can do. Number one, let them know the difference between renting and actually buying a house, right? Because renting will always be renting. But even if you buy, I would look at, if somebody wanted to buy, a larger house because of, the interest rate was low, I would even advise them that, okay, interest rates, if you're looking at the interest rate, I would say that you should buy something that might not be as huge as what you want it in the first place. Or I would say, you know what, there's always room for refinancing. I know that the difference between having renting a property and as opposed to owning one is equity is always yours. So, I think for you, if that's a challenge that, these people are not buying anymore, I would say that education is important. I think you should just tell them that, okay, I get it. This is where we're at. The interest rate, I think it changed within 6 months, right? Was a ridiculous increase. So you can say, yes, I know this is where we were at the time you wanted to buy, but I would still suggest if you think that place you wanted to buy is too much for your income, we could step down a little bit, or usually, we can't say for certain, but interest rates fluctuates and things like that. But again, that's what I would say. Number one, educate them, let them know the difference between renting and, of course, owning a property. Number two, I would say that they should think of reducing maybe the size of they should think of the affordability now that it has reduced, right? Some people actually will say, you know what, I will go for it and I'll see how things change. But I would say, do not guarantee people the reduction of interest. Do not guarantee anybody, because you don't know the market. Don't use that as, oh yeah, oh, but it could decrease. You cannot ascertain that. So I don't want them to hold you to that statement, because the other ones I'm saying that is practical. But if you tell them that, oh, the interest rate will reduce, I really think that's not a good thing to tell them, because the market fluctuates, right? The market can be fluid, right? So I hope that helps. But I think educating people that I think that's what you should do, is just make sure you educate them and let them know the difference. All right. Okay. Do you have any other question?
Another would be buyers wanting to wait, kind of on the flip side, buyers wanting to wait to buy because they're afraid that their investment will lose value.
Okay. Buyers wanted to wait to buy. Okay, because the same interest rate issue.
Right. They're afraid that the home that they're purchasing will lose value, especially with the higher rates as well as the higher prices right now, because the prices have kind of gone up the scale.
Okay, so they're thinking that even if they buy now, at the end of the day, their home will lose value, right?
Right.
Yeah. But again, unless the person, I think I would say, let me not say think, I would say that, first of all, you have to ask the person, what is their objective? Some people just want to buy, then sell. But if somebody wants to stay in a home, and that's what I tell, when you're dealing with clients, you have to ask them, what's their objective, right? What is their objective? So if this person wants to flip houses, then you know what to advise the person. It is like, oh, values will change. Okay, that's the case. No problem, But if someone wants to stay in the house, values of houses go up and down, I think. But one thing about, I think that I know there was a crash, I think in 2005 or so. I think there was a crash, but I think now the real estate market, is they're very strict now. They don't sell, they don't, approve loans anyhow, and I know one of the things people might say that to approve loans is a bit challenging for people now. Somebody might say that, I know if some real estate people, some real estate business or agents, which their business is, they're real estate agents, right? And I know that some people might say that the issue would be that they don't get their loans approved. It's difficult to approve loans. I think there are people that have that kind of issue. I don't know if that's one of the things you face. Now, because when I look at it, yes, it can be very frustrating for people. But I think when somebody says the house will lose value, I would say that you should find out what is the person's objective. Is the person planning to buy and sell the next, or the person wants a house to live? So with that, you might say, okay, the person wants to flip houses. That's a different ball game. You might say, okay, based on that, if you want to wait, But if somebody wants to buy it for themselves, I think you also have to advise them that, again, just like we said at the beginning, right? And I think is a better. I believe renting is not as beneficial compared to when you have your own property. But again, of course, you have to find out the objective, right? And then we talked about when you mentioned about how strict the loans are. Some people might say, oh, the loan to get a loan to buy a house is very difficult now compared to before. But that's somehow a good thing. It's a good thing. It's when you are the one receiving the loan, it can be frustrating. But I think that's the guardrails that the mortgage industry put in place to prevent, losing value, all those things that happened in the past, right? So, for those that want to buy and have the issue of not getting their loans approved on time, I would advise, because I see people having that issue in your industry. I would just add that anybody that's listening to me, I would add that don't work with someone that wants to buy. No, I won't say don't work, because I will say always accept clients. So I'm not going to say don't work, always accept clients. But if somebody wants to buy, and that's why you have to continue talking to friends, family, and if somebody wants to buy a property, they shouldn't tell you the month before. I want to buy a property. This is January. I want to buy a property in February. You have to get into the rhythm of working with somebody that say, okay, you want a loan approval in the next 6 months, 8 months, or I'm in a lease now. My lease is terminating in the month of August. This is the last day of January or the month of August. Then if you find out what is the criteria, what is required for them to get a loan approval. It could be that credit is not good right now. You work and build, try and see what you can fix. It could be that maybe it could be that they have the debt equity ratio is not good. You say, let's work on paying off some of your debts, So I would say that it's not like you work with somebody a month before, I want to buy a house next month. You work with someone over a period of time, especially when somebody, is planning to move, maybe really, they don't want to renew their lease, or they just want to sell and move to another place, right? Another house. So I would say that I just added that for you because of what you said about somebody reducing the value of their house. And I said the real estate, the mortgage loan industry is very, very strong now. The criteria, they're very strict. And that might also play into that people before they buy, they make sure the person qualifies to buy, right? The people qualify. So again, just to add to what you asked, I just wanted to add that because again, I know a lot of real estate business or agents which have that business that they are really struggling with their clients, but that want their loan approval. Excuse me. So I will say that work with them earlier and work with the loan person. Say, what is it? What is need? What do you need? What do you need in the next 5 months? And some of them are very good. They say, okay, I've analyzed this. This is not good enough. Pay down your debt. Make sure you get your credit rating higher, right? So I hope with that, and anyone that is in real estate and that is struggling with approval for their clients, you need to get into your client's business. You need to sit with them and say, let's see where you're at and where you need to be, right? So that when it gets there, to get approval is nothing. It's going to be, oh, you've done this, you've met this check criteria, you met this criteria. And when I say it's nothing, it's not going to be a big deal. All right. So yeah, so those are the couple of things. I know, we all have so many questions, but I was just trying to make sure that, this is an industry and the real estate industry really, COVID changed to me what I see compared to what I saw up till today, compared to other industries. I don't think the real estate industry really, really took a hit. I think because the environment, the work environment changed, people realized that, okay, we can work from home now. And because that people wanted bigger spaces, right? And, so it was like, it became, prices of houses increased. So I think, there were no houses. So I think your profession, your area, or that there are some that struggled, but real estate went a different routes. COVID changed the real estate market greatly. So what we want to make sure, as you said, we want to make sure that anybody that is in the business of being a real estate agent would have clients, and it's very painful, I know, when you tell them that this is what you want to buy and they can't afford it, right? So hopefully, you work with them from that beginning. All right. Okay, I don't think we have time for another question, but I hope at least the few questions I've answered, and I really want to appreciate her. But she came in, and these questions are very, very, very relevant in her industry, right? So hopefully anyone in the real estate market on the other side, real estate agent that is listening to this, I hope that it has made a difference and a great impact, and somebody will learn from this. So thank you, Ms. Mel. Really appreciate you. Thank you for spending time and sharing with us today. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye now. All right. So I really appreciate her, and hopefully somebody got something today. Now, I have the questions, we're rounding up. And so I have the questions that was asked. So I will go through those questions. Okay. All right. All right. The first question is, I have a family member that works for me, but her performance is so bad. Do I fire her? What do I do? Okay. Okay. I know there was one of the episodes I said it's good to employ your family. I'm all for that. Please, it's awesome to employ your family. You know, there are tax breaks, beautiful advantages to employ your family. But I want to make it clear here, please. I strongly say, I will say this, and for your business to do well, you know, you have to really treat your family as a staff. What does that mean? If your family, okay, let's say there's somebody say, I don't know what this person says she does, but her performance is so bad. Do I fire her? Now, if this person, your family member, is not doing what he or she is required to do, of course, you call the person and give the person a warning, explain to the person, this is not what is expected. You know, give the person a warning, right? Tell the person this is not how you expect the person to act or what you expect the person to do. And I have to stress something. I tell people that, or I say this a lot, that you have to tell people what your expectations are. What are your expectations? What is it that you want that person to do? What is it that you say she's not performing well? Make sure that you tell them, or tell the person, or any of your family members could be extended, any family member, you ask the person, what is it? You tell the person, this is what I'm expecting from you. This is what I'm expecting from you. You know, some people feel that, but my business is a small business. It doesn't matter. Every person should have expectations. So if you don't have expectations or standards, should I say expectation standards, right? The problem would be, okay, I don't have expectations. Then how do you tell me that person is not doing well? So make sure that criteria, there are standards that you need, or what you expect from that person. Now, if that person does not perform, your family doesn't perform, the person is a member of your family, you call the person again, correct the person first, second time. But honestly, if someone doesn't appreciate his or her job, it's time for the person to go and look for a job somewhere else. Because I guarantee you, if that your family member works for somebody else, the person will come to work on time. The person will do his or her work on time and, perform well. So it's very important to make sure that they understand. And if they don't understand, they can't work with you. And you can be your family when you come back from work, your family on weekends, your family, but in the workplace, because your business needs to do well, to pay salaries, to make profit. And if there's a person that is not performing well, that means your business will not do well. So it's okay. You can tell the person, give the person warning, and explain to the person that it's necessary for the person to change. It's very important. So I would say, I know that it's difficult with family to fire, but before you even hire your family, make sure that your family wants to work with you or takes the work, makes the person regards the work as important. Make sure that happens, that the person regards this work is important. So because of that, I'm going to take it that I'm working for an office, not for my brother, my uncle, my mom, the person must understand that. And if the person doesn't appreciate that, then it's time for the person to, well, it's up to you, but business is business. All right. All right. Okay, and I would say, please, before you hire anybody, as I said, make sure the person, you might have cousins, family members, but you know who is who. You know who would take your work seriously, even though you have family all over the place, right? Nice cousins, aunts, but make sure you know that this person, yes, this person can work. This person will do the work. This person will take the work seriously, right? So when you do that from the beginning, you might not get to the state of saying, I'm going to fire this person, right? Because you know the person has that drive to work. All right. Okay. The next question is, I'm spending a large amount on advertising, but I'm not seeing results. How do I fix this? Okay. It's wonderful to advertise. It's wonderful to advertise, right? But I want to state, first of all, before you think of advertising, it's great for you to, make a plan, okay? Because you don't just throw money everywhere and just say, oh, I'm advertising. I just feel like somebody comes to your office, oh, I can put you on this paper. I can put you on this. No. You have to find out, first of all, what is it that you're selling? Who are you selling this to, right? Who are you selling this to? What are you selling? Are you a medical practice that wants the environment, the area to know? Fine. Localized advertising is great, right? Social media is great. What are you advertising, right? If you're somebody that is into, like a medical practice or a tutoring, especially if you're in-person tutoring. Some people have a location that people come to. So you have to understand, you're not just marketing just because you heard the word marketing, right? And then there's something that you need to do. Whenever you have a new customer, right? Ask them, where did you hear about my company? Assuming you're into services, for example, where did you hear about my company? Where did you hear? Now, let's say somebody said, oh, I found you on Google. Let's say if 70% of your customers find you on Google, then you allocate your funds to Google. You make your budget should be, your funds should go to Google for advertising. Because if you're spending so much, right, on neighborhood marketing and you're not seeing results, you should be cautious of spending additional funds in neighborhood marketing, okay? So find out when you have new customers, because if you're spending a whole lot on advertising, it means you're getting customers, right? You get customers, get clients, right? Now, it's important for them to, one of the lines on your any intake form, where did you hear about us? That will help you to make sure you're not overspending, right? You're not overspending in advertising, okay? You're not just spending everywhere, all right? Okay, the next question is it important to create a niche for my business? Is it important to create a niche for my business? Now, I'm not, again, I would say that, I'm not sure of what industry, but I would say yes. Yes, right? You have a niche. People are specialized in maternity clothes and they're a retail store or retail designer. They design clothes, maternity. They want the things for people expecting, children, babies, right? So that's a niche. Somebody say, I want to deal with only men. That's a niche. Some people say, I want to deal with only children. That's a niche, right? So yes. Some people in the service industry, right? They might say that, okay, let me even use my own practice, right? My practice is generally, I would say 3 arms. I would say we're very much into taxation. I do global taxation, US tax, international taxation. So, we're very much into in-depth, complex tax issues where, the subject matter tax issues, that there's issues, whether with the IRS, whether with issues that sometimes are difficult to resolve. Okay. Another area that, because when I say you don't have to be one, and I'll go back and give you another example after mine. I do also outsource CFO, like, because usually outsource CFO actually merges with taxation, right? At the end of the day, you want to file your taxes, understand your tax position, right? CFOs. So for small businesses, I do that. Then also, on the other side, I do nonprofits. Some people do well and they say, I want to give back. I want to give back to society, right? I want to bless somebody. I want to give back to society. So I set up nonprofits for them. Now, let's go back a little bit to when I talked about someone that deals with maternity clothes. Some people that deal with maternity clothes can also add and say, you know what, I'm going to do something for the baby. There are people that do that, mom and baby, right? So, so it just depends. But I would say, with my example, everything links up except the nonprofit is something separate. But a lot of businesses that do well, they actually want to actually set up something for, to be a blessing, to anybody. It could be any organization they want to set up to be a blessing to people that are orphans. They do that. All right. So it depends on what you want to do. But yes, it's important to create a niche for your business. And when it says a niche, just make sure that they merge, to make it, to align everything, making sure that yes, this works together, right? Okay. All right. So yeah. So finally, I want to give you a tip. So I say tax tip, or a tip that a lot of people don't know about this. And so this is huge. So I want you to know that if you have a business, right, do you know that you can actually take money from that business and pay your student loan, and it's not taxable to you, but it's deductible as to the business? Now, that amount is $5,250. Some of you may, I have a lot of students. No, but still, that's something. You can pay up to $5,250 in student loan debt if you are an employee of your business, or if you have any employee. You can pay up to $5,250, right, as towards their student loan. Another exciting thing that people don't know, you can actually pay, this is another, an optional benefit is that you can actually pay $5,250 towards an education for your staff. Now, if your daughter or your son is the staff of your company and is legal, they're doing legal work, they're doing the right work, they're doing what they're supposed to do, you can actually pay $5,250 from your business towards their college education. Is deductible and it's not income to them annually. So I just wanted to, of course, there's exceptions, and there's when it comes to the one of the interest, it ends in 2025, but it's available. Remember, these are deductions that are available to your company. You can deduct it, pay it, and you're not taxed on that money. So it's really huge. So I hope I've been able to share something today. Hopefully that is beneficial. And of course, I will definitely be here next Tuesday. Of course, if you want to appear on this program, just sit back and listen to the closing information. All right. Great to see, or to hopefully I'll see again, if somebody wants to appear, make sure you listen at the end of the day. And of course, I won't say yes, I'll see you next week. All right. And thank you for Miss Mel for being here today. We really appreciate you. Okay, bye for now. Thanks for having me. Remember to join my live podcast
on Tuesdays, 6 to 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Visit my website, driniadesnia.com, for details. Till next time, bye for now.